Can you give me the code again, please?
89909627. 89909627. Okay, the responses are coming in.
I don't know if it's me getting the wrong code. 89990.
8990. You adding 19.
Okay.
8990
8990
9627.
9627. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. A person's having difficulty doing this. Any other person?
The scores are going up, so you can see who's interacting.
All right. Okay. Awesome.
One further knowledge.
I'm going to allow 30 more seconds and then we're going to move on. And that's it. Thank you for registering your votes. Those of you who did. Let's continue.
Is the window closed now, Mir? We have all the votes in?
We have 4 persons. Only 4 persons logged in.
Okay, I'm guessing the other person.
Yeah.
All right, I'm guessing persons are having difficulty. So, guys, one thing we want to do and encourage is that you're able to utilize different tools as well in your business to automate your workflow. So, at times when you're trying to handle several processes, your QR comes in handy because you wouldn't have to repeat your code or have to write down the code. So, once they could scan and go, and we're getting into the era of NFC, contactless, and NFTs, AI, you would have to adapt to this ever-changing technology, which is soon to take over. It is a global phenomenon. So I would advise and encourage you guys, even for your businesses, to explore the different tools, and we will be covering a few of those. So Mir, I'm going to share my screen and then we'll start the recording for us to officially begin.
I've already started the recording for tonight since we did
the
since we
co-hosting.
did the
Oh, okay,
recheck.
not a problem. Right. Um, that's not how I wanted to present. Let me know once you guys can see my screen presenter view. Just,
Nothing as yet.
it's just coming up. Hold on. It's showing it's blank though. It's showing me that it's presenting, but I am not seeing coming up. I guess I'm having it. It's just a second. I'm gonna try to just move it online and download it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, there we are. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Good evening. I am honored to welcome you all to tonight's Startup Huddle as the local director, and it's a privilege to bring everyone together and such a dynamic group of entrepreneurs. I want to thank the team, my amazing team, and partners who you see below the screen from Tektronite Strategy Reloaded, We Fix It, A Gift for You, Rethink Youth, and the Global Entrepreneurship Network. TND Marketing and Sales is the local host company, and I am your local director, Tanzania Mathurin-Fedee. Tonight's theme is around Innovate, Elevate, and it's about embracing innovation, which brings our special guests with us, Optronics, who will be telling you guys a bit more about his innovative business and how he is making an impact in the lives of not just youth, but businesses globally. And we're also going to be touching on setting actionable goals for 2025 and its opportunity to reflect, an opportunity for you guys to reflect, strategize, and build together. So, welcome to our monthly huddle. So, I just wanted to touch on a few things before we bring on our team members who just want to briefly tell you who they are. Then their names will pop up on screen and what their roles are at Startup Huddle. But the importance of innovation basically is for adaptation and growth. Innovation isn't just about creating something new, but it's about improving processes. So when you're thinking of innovation, think of solving problems and staying relevant in a fast changing world. So it could be that there was a way that customs would happen and school children would get left behind. And now you have a new system for bus subsidy, which takes away the hassle for parents and payments. That is innovation. So you guys can definitely tap into any field and identify any problems in your community and be an innovator. It just depends on your approach. Now, with goal setting, we're going to touch on a few things with SMART goal frameworks and key focus areas. And we're going to be encouraging a lot of reflection. So when you're setting these goals, we're going to make sure they're specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant. We will make them time bound and we will break down your 2025 vision into actionable steps. So without further ado, let's go and welcome the team. So we have Andrisha Octav, who's our PRO and project manager. She's not with us tonight as she is an active youth worker and works in the field 24/7. Tonight is one of the nights she has to be away, and had she been here with us, she would be able to explain a bit more about her role. But she basically reaches out to all of our partners and speakers to let them know about our next huddle and how they can contribute to your businesses. She also focuses on project management because we're now trying to acquire funding and grants and sponsors who can help interject into your business. As these opportunities come about, we will be updating our social media platforms, so do look out for updates coming from the end of the year into the new year. We have David Henry. He's the CEO of Strategy Reloaded and a trainer and project manager with Startup Huddle. If David's on the call, I would like you to come on and just introduce yourself. Is David with us? Okay, so we have Isaiah Lord, who's a project manager. He's the CEO founder of We Fix It St. Lucia. If Isaiah's on, you could please share a few words.
Hi, good night, everyone. It is an absolute pleasure to be here, and my desire is that we all win together.
Wonderful. Thank you, Isaiah. We have Miranda George-Arthur, and she is our moderator, co-host, trainer slash project manager. Miranda basically overlooks the entire system from the website to the social media platforms, hosting the event, and she's a specialist in IT and workflow automation. Anything Google related, Miranda's your go-to, and she is here with us tonight, and she will be presenting later on. So you will get an opportunity to hear from Miranda. And she is also the founder of Tektronites. So guys, we will now go on to our speakers. I am just going to quickly introduce our first speaker, who is Keegan. Just give me 1 second. So everyone, Keegan Patrick is an exceptionally dedicated problem solver with a strong academic and professional background. He earned a master's degree in advanced manufacturing and design from MIT, complemented by a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from UE. Keegan further enriched his knowledge through a semester at Harvard Business School, focusing on strategy and technology, and honed his entrepreneurial skills at Draper U Ventures Founder Accelerator Program in Silicon Valley. His academic excellence is evident in the numerous scholarships he has received from prestigious institutions such as the Wade, and maintains active involvement with the National Society of Black Engineers. This extensive network underscores his commitment to both professional growth and community engagement. Please help me welcome Keegan Patrick, the co-CEO of Optronics.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the lovely introduction. Happy to be here. Really excited to be able to share a little bit about my story. I just to give a little bit of background. Yeah, as you already heard, I'm Keegan Patrick, co-founder, co-CEO of Optronics. But I wanted to take some time to go a little bit back to when we just started 4 years ago, when me and my co-founder Shogun Rosary first started Optronics. We really started because we had the idea that we felt that us in the Caribbean, we were a little bit behind in technology development and adoption. And for us, we felt like we had the talent, we had the people to be able to create the next greatest technologies right here in the Caribbean. We didn't believe that we had to leave and go to the US and work, and for us to be part of a larger ecosystem to build new and great technologies. We believe that we could have solved our problems for ourselves here in St. Lucia and within the Caribbean. Um, so we came together and said, okay, what's the first thing we need to be able to accomplish to help us realize this vision of us being able to develop technology here in a place where there's limited opportunities, limited access to capital. So we decided at the time we were maybe about 20 years old, both $0 starting the company, but we said let's start off doing STEM education programs. We did pretty well in school. We went off to university. We had a few scholarships to get ourselves educated. So let's work with corporates and say we're doing these STEM education programs. At that point in time, it was the height of COVID. So we said, okay, we're going to do this delivery drone project. We're going to teach students how to build and put together the drone. We're going to teach them how to program a flight pattern. And we're going to say, okay, we're going to take medical equipment and vaccines from one point in St. Lucia to the other, and we'll have this COVID vaccine delivery drone. And we raised some funds from corporate St. Lucia to be able to make this program free to students, and we were able to do it during the COVID that time period. But what that initiative really did was we got a lot of media publicity at the time. We were able to bring on some of the banks, and there was somewhat of this belief that, hey, these young guys are doing something really cool and some innovative technology right here in St. Lucia, and teaching kids as well how to utilize not only the skills that they learn, but build something innovative. At the end of the day, we weren't able to have the drone actually deliver any real vaccines, but we were able to launch the drone and quote unquote move it from one end of the Cashews Comprehensive Secondary School field to the other, delivering some school supplies that we put together just for like a media day. And from there, that it brought us from that was our very first initiative, where we moved from two guys just with an idea to start this company with $0, and we got like our first $1,000 post program, and then taking that learnings from what we did this little initiative, we thought, okay, how can we expand this? How can we impact more people? How can we continue doing these programs? How can we start impacting businesses and doing something to help improve efficiency and productivity within businesses? So from there, we expanded to say, hey, let's do software development. Let's help persons in building their websites, building mobile applications. How can we get persons receiving payments online? How can we set up e-commerce platforms and digital platforms for businesses? So from there, we started offering those services to the St. Lucian public. We got our first few clients, and then we started expanding our team. We started hiring developers, and from there, we kind of started to slowly grow the company from what was just us doing some education work and believing that we were really giving back to society and working with kids, to starting to expand to a software development company that also does these STEM education initiatives. Fast forward from that point in time, we have now gone on to start building. We spun out another company. We started building AI powered tools. We built software that allowed us to find and bid on government contracts. which we called Riftbid, and that spun out of our optronics. And then we've also been able to work on a new initiative of launching our Optronics Innovation Hub, which we see as a co-working space to bring together like-minded entrepreneurs and give them access to some of the investor networks that we've been able to grow over the last 4 years of operation. Interestingly enough, in the first company, we were able to, after building the platform, we bootstrapped it, we put our money together to continue to pay our developers, and we were able to get into one of probably the world's second largest pre-seed accelerator, Techstars, within the United States. They funded us 120,000 US dollars to kind of get this platform on the ground and continue to growing the platform, because they saw the value that this product could bring to a global market. And then we didn't stop with just this new company or this new tool. We also said, okay, if we're able from St. Lucia, a completely St. Lucian team, to start raising funds from the US for this new product, this new idea that we had, how can we help others within our society to also tap into venture capital funding? How can we improve our access to capital for entrepreneurs and tech entrepreneurs within St. Lucia and the Caribbean? So that's where the idea for, okay, let's open our Optronics Innovation Hub and let's create this community, let's create this co-working space, give persons access to the investor networks that we've been able to mingle with over the last couple of years, and also having these types of get-togethers within the Innovation Hub space. So fast forward from that idea, we then were able to raise funds from people like the IDB and the European Union, and over the last year, probably been able to raise almost $1 million US across Riftbid, which is our AI-powered tool, and Optronics for the Optronics Innovation Hub. And so right now, we've been able to see the company move from 4 years ago being two teenagers, well, just about early 20s, $0 in funding, and being able to align ourselves with both the corporate and private world, as well as being able to align ourselves with the NGOs and the developmental organizations to allow us to bring in both venture private capital funding as well as non-governmental and impact funding, just because we needed to bring together different sources of capital for us to continue funding the company as we look to continue being revenue positive. I see I do have 1 minute left. I do want to continue, but what I wanted to say is really being able to stay open to as many opportunities as possible, and being able to give back and give to society the knowledge and expertise that you have within your particular sector. We always try to stay open to as many possibilities as possible, and we try to tap into a wide range of funding opportunities for us. In the chat, since I'm about to finish off, I'll also share some links into our company profile. I do encourage everybody to check out our website, and hopefully next year we will be launching our Optronics Innovation Hub, and I hope to be able to open the doors to everybody that's in Startup Huddle. I'll be sharing just a short intake form for names and email addresses, so I could shoot you guys some more information about that, and sharing across my contact if anybody wants to get in contact with me.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Keegan. That was very enlightening and inspiring, because you're 30 under 30, correct? Because you're not yet 30 over. Am I correct?
Yeah, there was this one organization that selected my co-founder and I as one of the Caribbean 30 under 30.
That's pretty amazing. So we're going to open up to the audience who has a few questions for you.
No problem.
I saw we had a few hands up.
Okay, so
Miranda.
everyone who needs to ask the question, can you please raise your hand and then you would be called on based on your hand. Yes, Lucian. Go ahead, Lucian. Jem? Jem.
Hi, good evening.
It's
I'm the one you're
Lucia and
calling, right?
Well,
Yes, that's
yes.
me. Maria Fontanel, yes. um, just wanted to say thanks for the explanation of how the business started, and congratulations on having taken advantage of all these opportunities so well, because oftentimes we find that the opportunities are not always visible, and
Yeah.
then some of us are not prepared to take advantage of them, especially young people. So I'm happy that these are being shared more widely now. My question is the mention of funds being raised from different sources. Could you go a little bit into how did you identify those sources, or how were they brought to your attention? And what was the process that you went through in terms of um, securing the funding? Did you have to write a proposal? Did they do it for you? Were you invited specially to write a proposal, or
Yeah.
were you just said, just here's the money, go do what you want? Were there
Yeah.
reporting guidelines, that kind of thing?
No, so it's kind of like it was a long process, but it is a process that you can plan for. So for us, how we were able to get access to opportunities was kind of tied to how we started, where we started in education. We started showing how can we take small amounts of money and have a developmental impact um on people, like not just our business but people in society. So we were able to show us running the business. We were able to, over the last 4 years, upskill 850 students while still building a profitable company. So that opened us the opportunities of people starting to reach out, and people seeing that from the NGOs and the developmental world, that people started reaching out through our social media, our LinkedIn. But then we were also close to opportunities where we were always looking for grant opportunities, whether it's from the IDB, whether it's from the Caribbean Development Bank, whether it's from CaribExpo. So we're always keeping an eye out for those. And then those would be typically an RFP process. We'd write a proposal, we'd send maybe 3 or 4 out, and maybe one might come back. On the private side, we always knew that, okay, building a service-based business is not highly scalable, and you won't get a lot of risk capital for building a service-based business. So we were always thinking, okay, if we're in the software development space, what product can we build? And that's when we came across like our own problem. We found it difficult to find opportunities. We found it difficult to always be writing proposals. So we built a tool called RiffBid. It's an AI-powered procurement platform. It helps persons find government contracts and opportunities across the Caribbean and the United States. And we have an AI assistant proposal writer that helps us with writing our proposals. So that was now a product that we could scale and repeat in different markets. And we went start going to investors and applying to accelerator programs. We started applying to pitch to investors. And then one of those accelerator programs say, hey, we believe what you're doing is interesting, and they decided to invest. So it's a lot of finding the opportunities, applying for them, and then even when we applied to them and we actually got them, then we had to sit down at the negotiation table to say, okay, how are we going to use this money? Are you still interested? There's also some of the organizations like, hey, we're giving you this money, but you can't do X, Y, Z with it, but you could do ABC. These are approved expenses of funding, and we expect you to report every month or every quarter. So there are also some guidelines and guide rails with how we use the money as well.
Okay, that was very helpful. Thank you. Before you did the AI, did you have like any human support in terms of your grant writers, report writers, that kind
Yeah.
of thing?
It was us. It was we wrote
Okay.
our proposals. We had just between our team members, looking for opportunities and writing the proposals.
All right. Cool. 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 Well, congratulations. Very well done. Sounds like a lot of work, but it sounds like you really put your head into it and really did a lot.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't discount it. It's hard work, but just have to keep on going.
We have David Henry, who has a question for you. Hey, David, you with us?
Right. Yes, yes. Sorry about that. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we.
Fantastic. Keegan, let me
Yes.
congratulate you, brother.
Thank you.
It's amazing. It's amazing. That you, uh, off, when you come into a for-profit market, it's usually difficult to start out getting the startup funding that you need because a lot of the initiatives, the grants, the opportunities out there are more aligned with creating social impact. And so most businesses start off as a social enterprise, as you would have described throughout your journey. And then as resources come in, you start to be able to sustain what you're doing, and it's fantastic. I think the tool you're using is 100% important. In my experience of grant writing, even for some projects, some projects, while we reported on just one thing, using a solution to tackle one thing, using AI, we learned that to develop so many other issues within sometimes the same space. So that added a lot of value to our proposal. And I think every organization, everybody looking to get into the developmental space needs to use that. Now, my question, because I know it's usually a marathon, but I'm very interested to find out. Tell me from the ideation page, from the, let's say from the accelerator program connecting with you,
Mhm.
how long did it take to get everything up and running?
Um, well, so the point in time that you chose to start is a bit nuanced. So the accelerator program started 3 months ago. Prior to the accelerator program, this is for our second company, Riftbid, that idea and product was in the making for almost a year from that point in time. So, and when we joined the accelerator, that's when we incorporated the company in the US within a couple of days afterwards. So from idea to building to talking to people, figuring out what they really wanted, what was their problem, to then starting to code and build a product and putting it out into the world. We had a really rough MVP. We got probably like 500 users, 300 users using the platform. All of that happened before the accelerator program, and we were just testing it out, and they liked some of that traction. We got into the accelerator program. When we got into the accelerator program, that's when the product or idea left Optronics, our first company, and we incorporated it as a new company in the US. And that's what allowed us to, we wouldn't have been able to receive investment funding from our limited corporation within the St. Lucia just because of regulation, the way taxes are, and how investors like to invest. So we had to create a US entity. But in some sense, that depending on how you look at it, we created the company within a week. But to create the company within a week, we had to work for a year in understanding what was the problem, what product we wanted to build, and how we're going to get it to market. After the accelerator program, we then still continue to talk to procurement officers, talk to people looking for government contracts. We talk to banks and financial institutions if they wanted to fund persons who won government contracts through the platform. And then we were continuously on this journey of figuring out, okay, what is the problem that our users are having? How can we continue to solve it better? And then how can we build that into the product? So I don't know, kind of roundabout way to get to your question.
Fantastic. So I have one more question. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that's absolutely fantastic, and I'm actually happy that accelerator programs does create the opportunities for young ideas. Um, Also, I'm very happy that for Startup Huddle, that a number of young people will actually get these very same opportunities to advance their ideas further. That's the idea. My other question to you is, if you had a sense, I know a lot of young people try to create business ideas and try to get funding to kick off, and sometimes it's very difficult for them. And it's like a marathon, just being able to identify a correct product that investors want to invest their money in. My question is, what advice would you give to young solution builders, young innovative people who are looking to get into that same space? What advice would you give to them?
Yeah, so for me, what we did, what we believe, we started selling services. We sold our time, because when we just started, we didn't know what product to sell. We didn't know what people would want. We believed we had a skill that we could help people with, and what we really sold was our time. And in the very early stages of business or entrepreneurship, your time is very low value. So we tried to see, okay, what are the things we could do for people they would pay us for? We did it. We took our time. We did the best that we could in delivering whatever service that people need us to do. We took our physical time to go and do that. And over time, in doing that, we were able to, one, build a little bit of capital to sustain ourselves as the business. And then that gave us the insight of, okay, we've been working with these people, we know their problems. Now we could start building a product while we're still selling our services that address the problems of our target market. Because we know them so well. We speak with them. We're the people doing this business. We're the people solving the problems manually. But now we're just trying to figure out how can we do it more efficient. And I think that's normally really the story investors want to hear, because they don't want to invest in a product that they don't know there's no market for, or you just built something and you don't know if anybody's actually willing to pay for it. But when you're able to say, hey, we've been solving this problem, we've been doing it ourselves, but now we've built a product that could help us solve the same problem we were doing manually for this person in half the time, and for hundreds of other people, without us having to spend any additional time working on the product for it to serve 100 people.
I'm thinking David has some connectivity issues, but that was some great feedback you gave, Keegan. And what I would love for you to do is to leave your number in the chat, that David, we could also share it to him, that he can reach out to you direct, because he is also the founder of Rethink Youth and Strategy Reloaded. So he definitely has a team of young entrepreneurs from Canaries and globally that he would love to partner with you on. No
Okay, that's
doubts.
it. So yeah,
drop
my
it
email
over.
address is my email address is in the chat.
Oh, there it is. Yes, I see it. I just opened it up. Sorry for that. David, you're back with us?
Yes, I am. Sorry. Yes, I am. Sorry. My call dropped while I was driving.
Were you able to get what Keegan was stating? Because he left his information that you guys can connect further and discuss in depth how you can collaborate. Because this is what we
Absolutely
do.
fantastic.
We
Absolutely
network,
fantastic.
connect, and we collaborate. Because there are other like-minded entrepreneurs in the group that would love to contact you, Keegan. And I'm hoping that you're open to developing this ecosystem with us. And at least we'll have to spend some more time.
I do invite everybody to come to the Innovation Hub when it does open. We're looking to open our doors probably March 31st, 2025. Don't hold me to a date, but happy to have it, bring in everybody. We're going to have a launch event. as well. We're hoping that it's a high-tech space and comfortable co-working space too.
Oh, definitely. And please let
Yeah,
me know.
we'll definitely hold you up for that.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Don't forget
Keegan.
to
Well,
fill out
thank
the form so I could keep in touch with everyone.
That's right, definitely, guys. So please go into the chat section and fill out the form that if you want to connect with Keegan further, he could always have your contact information as well. This is a safe space for businesses to speak openly about their challenges, and there's no question that you should feel you're not open to ask. If it's in your mind, feel free. And if it's something that you brainstorm later, Keegan left his email address for future reference. So thank you again, Keegan, for coming on and at least sharing your expertise. There's so much to learn from you, and we're hoping to have you on another feature where you can at least go into other aspects of the business realm with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So we now bring on our next speaker, who is Miss George-Arthur. Just a second. Ooh. All right, everyone. So let me just get Miranda's. That's so crazy. Okay, there we go. So Miranda George-Arthur is an information technology specialist who oversees a business and educational information technology firm. She's an experienced manager with a demonstrated history of working in the information technology and service industry, and she's skilled in customer service, technical support, data entry, graphic design, and managing accounts. She has a creative passion. She's a creative with a passion for graphic design, web design, and project management. She's also an IT specialist with extensive experience in networking and maintaining and repairing of systems. She's an educator capable of communicating difficult concepts across different age groups. She could definitely assist you all with any constrictive information that's required to get your project to the next level. And she invests a lot of time when it comes to innovative ideas. The freedom to create in a private atmosphere is all she requests for you at Startup Huddle, and I would allow her to grace you all tonight about her presentation.
Good evening once again, everyone. Tanzi, let me share my screen.
Sure, go ahead.
So, yeah. Um, so Tanzi has already said everything that needs to be said about me. So, um, so my business's name is Tektronites, and we're a hub for business professionals seeking tools and resources for running their businesses, for students and teachers looking to be smart classroom ready. So today, this evening, I'm going to speak about build, streamline, succeed. The power of websites and efficient workflow. So this is what I'm going to take you in tonight. Practical tips to enhance your online presence and productivity in your business. Now, 2025 is coming up, and I know that a lot of us do not have the tools to actually run our business efficiently and manage all the projects that we probably have coming up. The moment one person hears about you, then they tell another and another and another, and then before you know it, it's out of control. This is a problem that I've experienced myself, and I want to equip you with some tools that can actually help you streamline your processes 2025. Now, the presenter before me did a wonderful job, and he highlights some of the things that needs to be done in order for you to get your business to the next level, to get the grants and to get all of these things. But before you can get these grants, you need to be prepared for these grants, because grants require records. Grants requires you showing that your business is successful. Grants require that they see that you're on top of your game. Getting funding outside of your business is difficult, and it's sometimes a very tedious process. And I'm sure some of you probably experience some of that tedious processes with the grants that we have in St. Lucia. But all of these things are necessary to ensure that persons can utilize the funds that are being given to them correctly and not use it outside of the business. Is it changing? Can you see my screen changing right now? It's still on Build, Streamline, Succeed. Hello?
Yes, it's still on the same slide.
Okay, all right, hold on. I probably need to stop presenting and then start presenting again. Just give me 1 second. And then let's go. Okay. Okay. Oh, just give me 1 second.
Mir, you're muted.
Yeah. All right. So yes. So we're back on board. Why does a website matter? Now, some of you might be saying, here she goes telling me to build a website when I don't have money, because most times that's the problem that we have. We want a website, yet still we can't pay for the website. But there are possible ways to have a landing page, just a landing page, to start the process off, especially if you're in the service business or product. There is possible ways to have a landing page at a minimal cost to you, sometimes free. Why does it matter? Because it's your digital business card. Most times when persons hear of you, the first thing they go to do is to Google you. Google you, go to Facebook to search for you. And if you do not have these platforms, then you have no credibility. So it's very important that you have an online presence. It legitimizes your brand and it builds trust. And there is a 24/7 availability for persons. Even if you're not available to speak to them and they hear about you, they can find out about you and your business using a website. It showcases your offerings. It displays your products, your services, your expertise in one central location, so they don't have to ask these questions when they call you. All they have to do is just tell you, this is what I want. Now, you can reach a wider audience by having a website or a social media presence. And that's one of the reasons why in this digital world that we're living in right now, it's important. Most persons say, oh, I'm not tech savvy, I'm not this, I'm not that. But having this presence, even though you just post once or twice for the month, it's important that you have the basic information about yourself online so that you can be located. Now, Google has many, many tools that you could utilize, and that's what I specialize in. Google has many tools that you can utilize to put your business out there, and it's cost free for you, even with your Gmail account. So you establish a strong online presence. You use your consistent logos, your colors, your messaging, reflect your business values through your design and content. And again, it can be cost-free for you if you spend some time. Now, in the beginning, your business is always about time, but once you do it once, you don't have to do it again. So investing some time in creating that online presence for yourself is important. Things like the Google Business Suite. You can utilize this to actually put yourself on Google. So when people search for you on Google, you're there. Your location is there, everything is there, and it's absolutely free. You include words for search engine optimization. You can include keywords to rank higher in Google, all utilizing the Google Business Suite on Google. You can integrate your social media pages on there, and everything can be synced, and all of that is absolutely free to you as a business owner. Create user-friendly website. Now, your landing page doesn't have to be all fancy. It can be something simple, something that can be utilized both over the mobile phone and on the internet. And there are many platforms out there that you could actually create a landing page, including Google, that is actually mobile friendly and web friendly as well. You include your call to action, buttons like buy now, sign up, learn more, so that you can guide users. You can compress your images, use small plugins, which are all integrated in the Google platform. Over half of the internet traffic comes from mobile devices. So you have to make sure that your website is mobile responsive. Okay. Streamlining your workflow. So they have different apps you could actually use to streamline your workflow, to manage your projects, and to utilize your cloud storage. All of these there are some platforms that are absolutely free. You have things like Google Drive, you have things like Dropbox, you have things like Clockify, which actually manages your time to tell you, okay, you need to get off that task and do something else. Google Calendar is another tool that you could use for scheduling meetings and all of these things. There are platforms like Trello, Asana, ClickUp. All of these things can help you utilize and manage your projects very efficiently, add teams, and it's absolutely free. All of these things are used for managing your time, streamlining your workflow, and it will help you in 2025. So with platforms like Asana is a project management tool, and it allows you to create tasks. It allows you to batch your tasks together. It allows you to use templates to actually to manage your projects. It gives you regular updated tools, and it helps you evaluate. It allows you to evaluate at the end of all of your tasks. You can assign tasks to your client, to your workers. You can monitor it, and every time a task is complete, it's right there. You can assign a time for it, and all of these things on tools like these. So that's the end of it for my presentation this evening. I have 6 minutes to present, and I'd like to say that these are the things that I specialize in, and I have many packages for small businesses. I have a digital foundation package where I actually help businesses digitize their business and help them streamline their processes, give them the tools, help them understand the tools, and train their staff if they have any. And fully digital, I can come to you. We can do it over the internet. As you can see, we are having our meeting here tonight. And all of the tools that I'm using is absolutely free. And I have packages for small businesses, payment plans for small businesses as well. So before we continue, before we finish, I'd like to hear you have your interaction based on what you've learned this evening. And this is another tool that I'm using for, I just wanted one word to summarize what you've learned this evening. Scan the code and just type in your words. I see somebody's already started. Yes, David?
First of all, let me start by saying this is absolutely amazing, right? Because I can tell you off the bat a number, and that's something I learned when I studied international trade. A lot of companies do fail because their products are not getting into the smart devices of the customers. And many organizations, solid businesses that almost nobody would not hear of because things like websites extremely important. People need to be able to see. Listen, before we give them folks money, before we even invest in their idea, let's see what they have already done. Pictures, little write up on what you're doing. It's so important in the fundraising stage, especially. And it only begins when the funds are being raised, because once you get that money, then it's going to be more fund writing. People are going to want to get involved with what you're doing. So that's absolutely fantastic, you know. My question would be, what would you consider working on
You breaking up, David.
projects where, for example, you can maybe create, hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I was saying, would you like to, what do you think about creating a project where young people who cannot afford your services would still be able to access it, but then to be able to get a donor, to be able to get a donor to fund that so that the young people will be able to have access to your services. What do you think about that?
That is actually something that I'm working on right now. So keep follow me on social media, and then when the project has launched, you guys will actually get to hear about that. And I'm actually in the process of actually putting the proposal together so that I could start that process.
That's absolutely fun. I'm so happy to hear that. It's something I think everybody needs and not everybody can afford. So I'm happy that you have that option available as well. And I know a number of businesses across St. Lucia, especially the hotel sector, would love to get involved. And Tanzania, that's something I'm hoping that Startup Huddle could definitely help explode, because a number of, especially for example, the salons, you know, the young people doing the little healthy products, the young people who have the little exercise programs, the young people who have the little mental health circles, you know, these products are going to be the key and going to help develop the fabric of what is our communities and our societies. So I'm very excited about it. I'm very happy to hear about it, and I look forward to hearing more.
Okay,
Well
so I'd
said.
just like to throw in there that I'm also a mentor. I was a mentor for the last cohort with the Youth Economy Agency. So I had two beautiful young women, very vibrant and very motivated, from different parts of the island. And one was in massage therapy and one is in the food business. And it was such a joy working with them. So that is something that I'm very passionate about, which is why I'm putting the project that I'm putting together for them.
Well said, Mir. Does anyone have any other questions for Miranda regarding the presentation or automation?
I'm only seeing two. I'm very, very persistent on my feedback. So can you please scan the code or go to menti.com and put in the code 12549310. And then I'm going to go to the next screen. I'm just going to give 1 minute for that. And I'm going to the next screen with my contact information. There's a QR code to scan as well. And you could actually add my contact as soon as you scan the code. It will allow you to put in my contact into your phones.
Very well. Any other
Yeah.
questions for Miranda? Is anybody else in the queue? Okay. So guys, you could
Nothing?
go ahead. If you have any future questions for Miss George-Arthur, feel free to scan the QR code and she'll also place it in the chat. For those of you who are unable to scan the QR, she's going to put it in the chat for you. That way, if anything comes to mind, feel free. Our team members here at Startup Huddle are open to discuss with you. And this is a safe space for thriving businesses. We plan to embody an ecosystem where we can sustain future generations, because I am a generational wealth creator, and I believe that once your enterprise is built on a structure that it can function without you, you're well on your way to sustainability. And we do not aim to become small tea boutique. We're going to become large enterprises. The next millionaire is in the group. So this is what we're going to foster as we go along, and at least aligning you with not just the resources, but if you keep stating what your challenges are, we're able to also source out who the partner can be for your enterprise. So I'd like to just touch on a few things with goal setting. So once everybody has taken either a picture, a screenshot, or taken down Miss George-Arthur's number, I see a number typing in there, 1254931. Oh, was that the code for
Yeah.
the survey? Okay.
For Mentimeter.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
So
yes,
you could actually
comment.
go into, yeah. So you can just go into menti.com. I'll put the link right here just now. And then put in that code so you could log in your feedback. So thank you guys for listening. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Mir. Much appreciated. This was very insightful, guys. I believe that if we position ourselves to achieve what we want and we set goals, we can surely achieve them. So I'm going to present the last piece of our meeting this evening, which is on setting smart goals, as 2025 is fast approaching. it would be better to plan today and prepare ourselves than we wait till the first and then start setting up goals. So it's better to take time out during the holidays and take some time to reflect on yourself and on your business. So let me just bring up my screen because we have 15 more minutes before we close. Okay. Mir, I'm not able to bring up a share button. You there with me?
Yes, try again. I just
Okay.
stopped presenting.
My screen went
Should
black.
be there.
My screen went black.
I think it has to do with the connectivity. The
Oh,
connectivity seems to be very poor.
okay, it's loading again. Just 1 second. I'll try it. Okay, there we are. Just let me know when you guys can see my screen. I'm trying to bring it up from my phone to see if you can just send the link over. Know when you're using workflow, you're supposed to be able to switch. So let's see if the Wi-Fi permits AI to work. Now remember, AI, unless they don't figure out an offline feature, I like to tell everybody, human interface will still survive. With the level of our Wi-Fi, you might see places in the global space thriving before us because we're trying to implement these processes and we do not have the level of the connection that's needed unless you're deciding to go with a fiber solution from Flow or Digicel. Then you would definitely be contending and can use it freely. So let me know once the screen's showing, guys.
Is it on Google Slides you have it? Tanzi? Do you want to share it with me so I could present it for you? Oh, okay, it's coming up. You're muted. You're muted.
All right, can you hear me now? I lost my audio. Wonderful. All right, everyone. So if you could see my screen, it says New Year, New Goals, and I would love if you could take your own pen and paper down for us to be able to dive into this a bit. Okay? This is a very critical part of your entire life journey because what happens is when you don't set goals, it tends to make the task overwhelming because although there are a list or set of things you must do to get you to your next level, let's say as a graphic designer, how do I become a better graphic designer? Or I'm new to it. I would want to learn Adobe Photoshop and different tools that there are out there. Am I correct? Let me know you're with me. The step would be I place those on a building block with 4 pillars, knowing that each tool, because Photoshop is a tool and Photoshop has other components. So each of these tools now go in a list, in a chart of which one is in priority. Now, I can't go to a tool that's requiring expert level and I haven't grasped the basic of knowing typography, colors, the different codings, and just the theory and the background of design. You know, I would then start with Photoshop. I would list what I need to learn Photoshop as my next goal because everything else doesn't matter. I'm not even at the level to go on to step number 2 because I haven't fully grasped the skills I need to take me through step 1. But if you're try to study everything at the same time, can you imagine the brain fog, the stress that would be upon you because you haven't broken them down into manageable steps? And that's what we call chunking. So we would take these 4 and separate them, then pile up a list of what we need to do just for step number 1. And step number 1 can maybe have 20 processes, but don't get lost in the process. You need to continue moving on. So whether you have to break down that maybe once a day you do an hour online, by the end of the year, you would get to step number 4 because some of these skills only take you 4 hours, 5 hours to grasp, and you keep practicing. You would get your certification, but you keep practicing. And these tools are readily available all year round online, and there are free and premium services you can use for it. So we're going to be focusing on SMART goals, but before we go into it, you need to strengthen first, which is our primary goal for the year-end evaluation, strengthen our unique value proposition. Then we're going to leverage technology and trends to stay ahead, as Miss George-Arthur was explaining. And then we're going to build sustainable practices. So strengthening your unique value proposition, your USP, your unique selling point, is basically saying that this year, your primary focus was on making sales, but you forgot in the sales process, it's about raising awareness. I know we're all eager when you get a small grant or you have your savings that you want a quick turnaround with what you've invested. And it's not wrong to want a return on your investment. I'm just saying that there's a process. Success is a set of skills that you learn. Then you learn the discipline to stay successful. So you strengthen your unique value proposition as to what makes your brand stand out. If it's a social enterprise, focus on your impact and what you might have missed. And if you're for profit, look at where you maybe missed the step of people not being able to find you. Now, I know everybody thinks of social media ads and maybe they don't have a budget, but you have resources right there with you. There are many persons who are in WhatsApp groups and different contacts. It only takes once to tell them share. And if you're not able to create a broadcast, it's fine if you have to first build some relationships, because the psychology of why people buy are on 3 principles, which is health, wealth, and relationships. So if your unique selling point either doesn't support their health or anyway improve their lifestyle, you're already facing a problem. Number 2, if it doesn't either put them in a position to make more money or how they can get the knowledge or any access to finance would be your second point you think of. Because whether you're in service or you're in production, you would still have to focus on health, wealth, and relationships. And relationships would mean where you are here with us today at Startup Huddle, building on resources, and we're opening you up to meet new people. What we're trying to do is not just give you access to the resources, but bring in the people your business might want to connect with. And these people understand you're a startup and you face challenges. So when they come in and they're willing to give you the free resources, take down as much notes as you can, write down aspects of what they say that you can research further on, and put that into your USP and your unique value proposition. We go on to leveraging technology and trends. So we all know how social media is blowing up. But what we didn't realize is people are now realizing faceless videos are AI automated and they would still benefit you if your topic is relevant to what your business is. It makes no sense today to have a video and your customer feels lost because it's AI generated and nothing to do with cakes. So you would have to spend some time to use some of the tools like InVideo, which is very helpful with generative AI. That's invideo.io. It could really help you with a free feature to build a video, which I will show you guys in a bit. And then you focus on sustainable practices that would help your brand expand. What can I do? So this takes us to our SMART goals. Okay. So what's a goal? It's a clear statement of what you want to achieve. And these short-term goals, as I said, can be steps along the way to achieving a long-term goal. Setting these goals is essential for your own growth and development. And this is what I basically used for the students. And I believe that it can be applied in real life. So it would help your learning process because through Startup Huddle, we're number one, an educational hub. So coming through any programs that would help you get certified, you are a student. In your business, it also has to create intention for you and motivation that would empower you. You cannot be in the business and you feeling like it's ready to kill you because your business has to get to a level where it can operate without your presence. Imagine wanting to go on vacation and the second you board the taxi, the client calls and says, well, I'm looking for X in the company, and then there's no plan or a strategy that would take you out from being marketer, HR, sales rep, production manager, manufacturer, and still customer service. You're operating at a pace where eventually could lead to destruction of your own self, because you have to intentionally apply these goals to what you want to achieve. So if you believe that your goal would take you about 2.5 years and maybe you might have to work still to put in the money, and there are things you will have to do, some sacrifices you're going to have to make, and you need to establish accountability for your own business. So shift it either from yourself with your responsibility that you either work for the money or you let the money work for you. I was inspired by a speaker at the Youth Investment Forum held by the Youth Economy Agency last week. And what he said was, what percentage does some of the most successful 1%ers get out of their own business? And if you guys are good, give me a ratio right now. You only have like 30 seconds to tell me what percentage did you think was mentioned out of the most successful enterprises who operate without just the owner. It's a team. What percentage do you think with an innovation like Facebook or Oprah, any one of them, do you think actually gains from this? You can list it. You could say 50%, you can say 60%, you can say 8%, 10%, but what comes to mind?
10%.
Who said that? Was that you, Mir?
Yes.
Well, Mir, you're not wrong because it was surprising to me
I
to
commented in the chat.
let me see 1 second. Hold on. Oh, yes, Reniata has 10% and Michelle has 20. So we're right around the range. And remember that 10 and 20% they're typing there is not 10% of $5,000 grants or $2,000 grants or $10,000 grants. That's 10% of billions and millions of dollars that investors come in, and the entrepreneurs have to suck it in and know that if you want to become a successful enterprise, an LLC, a S Corp or C Corp, that you're driving freely and have financial freedom and live the life you always dreamed of, you need to start making some adjustments, first with your goals, and secondly, with your perspective on the business, that you're not operating from a direction that you can remain carrying the hats, but you understand that the investors would, the shift sometimes doesn't take away from your branding, it doesn't take away from your audience, but they're opening you up to new markets where you don't have expertise or the know-how. And you would have to be able to reflect a lot this season to understand that. So ensure that these goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. And we can use this criteria as we go through the end of the year to ensure that we cover everything that has to be done. So what needs to be accomplished for our goals to be specific? What steps needs to be taken to achieve it, and who is responsible? So if you write down this question, anything that comes to mind, just write it down in your book. Specific. What needs to be accomplished? You're trying to receive grants, but you haven't gone to a workshop or seminar or done any research online to know what's available. What steps need to be taken to achieve it? To be in the networks where it's being pitched, to meet people and go to offices and organizations. Who's responsible? You are responsible to be open and ready to look for what you need. Startup Huddle St. Lucia is going to remain committed to posting as much as we can as we receive them. And you also have a responsibility to follow the page, and any information that you hear from the Youth Economy Agency, the Chamber of Commerce, the government of St. Lucia, and any other regional agency or partner, ensure that you are following these pages come tonight, because opportunities are being rolled out as we speak. Just 2 weeks ago, a $15 million project was released by the OECS for grants. Another extension was given till December 13th. Many persons didn't know about it. So this is what we mean by who's responsible and what steps must be taken. You have to be in the know. You're making changes not just for your business, but for your personal development. And whether it's a scholarship you want to do a free course, so AFA has so many. NSDC is offering a few. Please tap in. Anything to advance you to go on to the next step for your company and your personal development. So measurable. When will you know when you have reached your goal? So you need to set the benchmarks we set to allow you to track your progress, because you're trying to first raise awareness, either for the brand or to get the grant. You need to generate leads and you need to generate a list. Write down who are the people that could influence you receiving the grant. If you know the name of two persons that you have to speak to, reach out to us. Tell us what you need from us. And when you set down these benchmarks, we will help you work out a system to track your progress. But start with a list and break it down. Don't think about when the house has the roof and you put in furniture if you not yet buy the land or acquire the land. So we all say we want a restaurant, but nobody has made us effort to first start searching for spaces. You can't approach the bank and say, I just want a restaurant, because they will still ask you, what are your benchmarks and your goals? Then they'll ask for projections. As Miss Rati said at our last meeting, you have to start somewhere. Okay? I hope that makes sense and it could relate to whatever you want to achieve, because we're pretty much on our last 2 minutes. Attainable. Is that a goal that you can reasonably achieve? Don't kill yourself or lie to yourself if you know that there might be blocks and barriers. Not saying that you cannot achieve them, but knowing what your limitations are, what your insecurities are, because sometimes it might take you to start being more open and to communicate that you need the help. And if it's a case that it's a skills thing, then just ask yourself, what skills and experience do you have to complete the goal? Try to strike a balance between challenging and realistic. I mean, all of us want to get somebody investing $1 million or more, but we have to position ourselves to have the discipline for when that money comes, we know what we're doing. Make sense? So why are you setting the goal? Is it relevant? Will it achieve you and help you now or in the future? Will it, like, think about the big picture, the house, the car, future for your family and creating generational wealth and a business that when you go, it can pass on to your children's children. Your goal should be motivating, not frustrating. Okay? And we're down to the last one, which is timely. When will this goal start for you and when will it end? Set both an endpoint and checkpoints throughout. Take time to breathe and focus on your mental capacity. Make 2025 a year that you focus on self-care. While you're setting up goals, set up goals that will align with your health being at its peak, because your health is your wealth. And we could get stuck in the, the operation of things, of how life goes, that we end up missing that we didn't take time to even reflect or even check on our bodies, that we could take a massage and do stuff and go into nature and journal and read and be free. So although I'm saying that we want you to be successful, we also want to be alive with our success and healthy. you know we want to be able to go through the goal and still get to meet each other at that millionaire circle, knowing that we don't just care about your success, but your overall well being. So, with your deadlines, please ensure to put them down for yourself. That could help you stay on track. And unexpected events are the reality of life. This is what we call a setback. It's okay if you need to make adjustments to your goal. With each checkpoint you achieve, ask yourself if the parameters you set are working for you. And what obstacles may you experience? Sometimes you could write down, because sometimes you could already identify it. And what are some potential solutions to your obstacles? So, in conclusion, guys, SMART goals can help encourage behaviors that you want. They can guide your focus and lead to higher levels of motivation, and they also foster a sense of accountability. So, what SMART goal can you set for yourself today? I leave you all with this question to just basically take time out and have some self reflection, that you can set yourself up for success this coming 2025. I welcome you all. If you have any questions or any comments or feedback before we close today, but I thank you to our a special thank you to our partners, for you, the attendees and sponsors, for being on with us tonight, and our guest speakers. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to go ahead and ask, because this is our last meeting before the year ends. Go ahead.
Just a comment.
Mhm.
Um, I always go back to the simple phrase that Amazon was a small business. So they had a vision, and your goals setting your goals allows you to stay on track. Like if you drive in a car, you have
Mhm.
a direction that you go in. If you say that you're going to Viewport, you're not going to go all the way off to Martinique or something like that, right? So
So
having
true.
the goals is very, very important because life has a way of hitting you with things that are unexpected. But if you have a goal, even in your darkest moments, you have a picture in your mind as to where I'm going to go to. So it helps you to get past the valleys.
So true. And these guys, you know, this they have the same story. They started from their basement. I'm not telling you you can't start from your kitchen sink counter using your one stove. But if you set up a goal that you want to achieve something, whatever the sacrifice is, and whatever, I'm not saying that you're going to go beyond your limits as a human, that would tarnish your reputation, but I'm saying strategic goals that would elevate you and not being afraid to take the risk of collaboration. I was once scared of collaborating at a point where I felt I got burned so much in the past. I couldn't trust anybody. I'm not going to lie. It took a lot for me to go back into entrepreneurship because I believe that the experience I had, I felt being a youth business owner, all I could have done was flight at one point. It took me some really amazing people, some who are in this huddle tonight, who would speak life into you and just remind you of what you're capable of, your value. I went back to lecture part time. I then took another lecturing contract. I went back to school just after I closed my company a year ago. Then took a job for 6 months as a marketing coordinator just because of, I say it would be not the fear of failure, but they made me fear success because when the money starts coming in, guys, the goals are there to help you remember you're on to the next step. So things can come as a sidetrack and a setback. Life happens, a death, whatever it is, as we started our meeting today. But remember that your goal is what is going to allow you the next step. Like, if the funds are there that you have to buy the equipment, just buy it at the time you need to. That setback will still come. I am not lying for you. It's both a scientific and spiritual thing that the energies of feeling the emotional side to your success, it builds up a fear in you that you haven't even experienced. So I would tell you that just embrace what comes and remind yourself not to panic for 2025. We overcame COVID. We overcame 2024, the year of the inflation. I believe that we can conquer so much more. There will be a lot of opportunities coming up that I'll be happy to share with you. And I am so excited to tell you guys that I am a finalist for the Young Leaders of America's Institute by the US state government, which is YLI. And they pay your fellowship for you for 6 weeks. You get fully funded stipend, you get air travel, airfare, visa support. They pay the visa, there's no interview cost. And they also offer you support whilst you're preparing to go to America. So even right now, you have hands-on support while your business, you're trying to balance how you're going to leave your business for 6 weeks next year. It's amazing that they have counselors and guidance for you, a support network of over 60,000 entrepreneurs global who are ready to hold your hand. And when I fought my social enterprise, I just got my sixth grant last week. Thank you, God. My sixth grant, following the principles Miranda explained, and many of what Michelle shares under her Slatera platform. So both Tectronites, Strategy Reloaded, and Slatera has been giving a mouthful of information to help you that following their principles as my mentors, I could tell you that the opportunities are unlimited. And when this opens up next year, guys, be ready. Be ready to apply for everything. From what Keegan said, he got $1 million from the Entrepreneurship World Cup. He got another $100,000 from different institutions who kept investing into his brand. And things like these fellowships is what opens you up. So go on, Herniata, you had a question.
Hi. I
Renia-
just sent you a photo. Share that photo.
Reniata, you with us?
I didn't have a question. Atonzi, I had my hand up. I must be press it by accident. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. But guys, I'm just here to tell you all that the information and the wealth of knowledge available to you is astronomical. And after completing the fellowship, they've already given me, I haven't completed it yet, but they've already been giving me support to make partnerships with companies that they already see fit for me. So I was like, I've never really experienced something like this. Like you have people calling you like they don't know you, they haven't met you in person, but their mission is to impact your life and your business and get you to the level of sustainability. And I've spoken to past alumnus and persons that they've shared videos about, just sending them a quick Instagram, a quick LinkedIn message. And guys, some people have warehouses, some people have factories. There is no limit to your dream when you're out there with this program with Wiley. And I'm excited to tell you that I would be honored if Wiley chooses me as an advocate because I haven't started yet, but I'm already benefiting from the program before I travel to meet them 2025 in Texas and as we close in Washington, D.C. So I will close on this note, let you all know. Oh, Miranda has a question. Go ahead, Mary.
Another question, just to add. So we have, and this program has been around for a while, and many persons don't know about this program. And I'm an alumna. I was one of the two St. Lucians chosen last year to represent St. Lucia this year. And Mr. Samuel was one of the 2017 alumni as well. And it's amazing. You get to meet people, you get to network. And one of my cohort alumna was here this evening. He dropped out, and you have an amazing network that actually cheers you on while you're going through all your hurdles, even after you leave the fellowship. It's for ages up to 35 years old. So I would encourage people inside of it to look out for the next cohort and to apply. So this year we have 4 people going from St. Lucia, and we want to increase that amount.
Michelle, go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm not going to say much. I was just going to ask either Tansy or Miranda if you would please play the video which is attached to the link I just shared in the chat. If you can play that for everyone, um, that would kind of sum up what the experience is like. This is basically testimonials from persons who have been impacted by the program, just a snippet of it. But any more information you want about it, the individuals you that are there in front of you are the ones that will give you that information.
The Wildlife program is something intense, so I think that you make a lot of friendship and connections. My friends from Peru, Chile, Belize, they helped me not just in my life, but also in my professional life, in my projects, trying to work better and develop our countries together.
And we have impacted over 22 entrepreneurs, some of which are actually Wildlife Network members. They have pitched at our events, they've made connections, and I'm glad to say that the program has impacted them in such a way that they're looking forward to more engagement and other events such as this.
It's a great opportunity to network as well, to share your ideas, to get feedback for your ideas as well, professional feedback as well, and to actually network with stakeholders that may help you, and you will be able to help them back as well with your businesses or organizations.
We have seen within the group a gradual culture shift from I need to succeed more towards we need to succeed. And I believe that is a direct result of some of the things that I've done differently after Wildlife.
I think community is one of the greatest needs of human being. So if you master that approach, you can change lives, your life, and change your business. Go out there, find something to do, find a solution to those problems that are in your community. You can do it, and your community needs you.
We complain about things that could be changed, but we don't realize that change has to start with us. So if you would like to know how, and you're not sure, seek me out. I will be more than happy to share that information. Or you can go to wildlife.state.gov to get more information. Join the Wildlife Network now.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing this video. It definitely speaks on the impact and what we opened with earlier tonight, guys, on being innovators, where we solve problems. So this was an amazing video for us to close with, knowing that this opportunity doesn't just go for you. Even if your business is already established, one thing I learned with Wildlife is there are so many different incorporations coming in, and some of them are children of, they're sisters of. And I met a few persons in Peru and Bolivia, and they're co-founders. Sometimes the founder might be older, but the younger generation still has the opportunity to come in and do the exchange of knowledge and culture. And as I go on my journey, by January 2025, I'll be happy to share every step of the way as they permit us to do so. So thank you all for joining Startup Huddle St. Lucia. As we close this evening, I just want to tell you all that your continued support and being at these meetings is evidence that a change is going to come, and there will be a lot that we will be doing in 25 where we thrive. I would ask each and every one of you to keep following the page as we release information and updates on all what's available to you. And we look forward to hosting you in the coming year. So we wish you a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas, and a thriving 2025.
Good evening, everyone.
It was a good session. Thanks for the invite.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you.
Of course. And good luck with your opportunity.
Oh, thank you. I definitely plan to represent Startup Huddle up there, and I've told the entire team at Wildlife. So when I go up there, your information on the registration sheet will be going with me.
Fantastic.
So all those who mentioned financial, that is what I pointed on as my main focus, and I did not miss a thing. As more persons come in and they raise their challenges, I will continue to take down information to see how best I can help, because I am not going as a single company, but now as the local director also of Startup Huddle St. Lucia. I thank you all.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank
Good night,
you.
everybody.
Good night.